So y'all know I've come to terms that I don't know who gave me AIDS or HIV, right? So today I got a message about an interview that I should watch. And this interview happened to include a celebrity man that this man has been with me and everybody else doing the same thing with it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Push through those legs. Come on, push. Stand up. Push through those legs. Come on, do it. Push those legs.
Who's just running around undetectable, G?
Come on.
In the game.
Man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
So, the whole situation with Diddy just got a lot more serious and way darker than anyone imagined. The big rumor spreading around right now is that Diddy has HIV. According to people talking, he got it from attending those famous, wild parties that would last for days on end. But the story gets even crazier from there. It involves a popular woman from the internet named Gina Tew, who a lot of people know because she talks openly about having HIV. Turns out, Gina might have left out a huge part of her own story. The word is that she was at one of those same parties with Diddy around the exact same time she believes she caught the virus. She's never said his name publicly, probably for legal reasons, but the timing matches up. And it gets worse. Some people who work in the jail where Diddy is being held have reportedly confirmed that he has been getting medical treatment for HIV ever since he was locked up. However, the treatment in jail isn't as good or as consistent as the fancy care he was getting when he was rich and free. This is supposedly the real reason he looked so thin, weak, and exhausted during his court appearances. Everyone thought he was just stressed about the trial, but the rumor is he was actually struggling with his health and not getting the right medication. This is a wild piece of news to start the day with, but there's a lot to figure out here. For those who don't know Gina's story, she's a big TikTok influencer. She got HIV from a celebrity she had a relationship with, though she never said who it was. She started sharing her health journey online back in 2022 to help others. Her story is already incredibly tough. Not only did she get HIV, but she didn't even know she had it for about 8 years. She felt sick all the time but didn't know why. By the time she finally went to a doctor to find out what was wrong, the virus had already gotten much worse and turned into AIDS. Her body went through hell. She became so skinny that she only weighed 65 pounds and lost all her muscle. She even lost the sight in one of her eyes. She's been through a lot, and now this new rumor connects her story directly to Diddy's.
I started noticing something was wrong with me immediately. I started losing mobility in my legs, and I couldn't make it to the bathroom. I was running headfirst into walls because I just couldn't control myself. And I lost issues with my bowels. Like I started just going whenever, wherever. And so when I went to the hospital and stuff, and when they found out and told me about it, just within like 2 weeks, not even, I couldn't walk anymore from being like bedridden. And so that I still can't walk. I'm still trying to gain muscle in my legs to be able to stand, because I still need help standing. Everyone's like, you didn't feel any symptoms? You never went to the doctor? I'm like, no. And then, I lived in New York, and when there were storms and stuff.
It's really important to remember that Gina was living in New York City while all of this was happening. We'll come back to why that matters in a second. First, the good news is that Gina is doing a lot better now health-wise. She's been working really hard on her recovery. She's gained weight and is now up to 100 pounds, which is a huge improvement from when she was only 65. She's even had to relearn how to walk, building her strength back up little by little. Because she has been so consistent with taking her medication, her health has improved dramatically. Her doctors told her that her CD4 cell count, which is a key measure of how strong your immune system is, has gone way up. To put it simply, this means her body is no longer showing signs of having AIDS. The virus is still in her body, which means she still has HIV, but the disease is under control. If she keeps taking her medicine, she could eventually become undetectable, meaning the virus is so well controlled that it can't even be found in tests and can't be passed on to others. Even though she's physically doing better, she is still very angry at the person she believes gave her the virus without telling her they had it. And that's where the connection to Diddy gets stronger. Remember how we said to remember she lived in New York? Well, according to the legal documents against Diddy, New York City was one of his main hubs for throwing those massive, multi-day parties. The court papers specifically named New York, Los Angeles, Vegas, and Miami as the cities where these events happened. When Gina was in New York, she was actually homeless for a while. People who are following this story believe that during this difficult time, she was recruited to go to one of Diddy's parties. It's thought that this is where she met him and how she caught him. There's a lot of evidence that suggests no one at these parties used protection. His ex, Cassie, said in her own lawsuit that she got sexually transmitted infections from him. She also said that he didn't like using protection and that there was a lot of talk about him using baby oil, but no one ever mentioned condoms. So if you add it all up, it's not a big leap to think that unprotected sex at these parties is how the virus spread. To make the connection even more convincing, Gina herself has talked about her past. She has admitted that when she was struggling with addiction, she would sometimes get involved with celebrities at parties to make quick money to support her habit. This fits right in with the rumors about how Diddy's parties operated. Then, just as all these rumors about her and Diddy started blowing up online, Gina posted a video on TikTok. She said she had been really upset recently after seeing a news report about a certain male celebrity. She believes this celebrity might be the one who gave her HIV. She didn't say his name, but let's be real. What other male celebrity is dominating the news right now besides Diddy? She explained that the only reason she isn't saying the name publicly yet is because she wants to be 100% sure, and she is actually considering suing this person once she has all the facts. Her timing, saying this right in the middle of the Diddy rumors, seems to say everything without her having to actually say his name.
So y'all know I've come to terms that I don't know who gave me AIDS or HIV, right? So today I got a message about an interview that I should watch. And this interview happened to include a celebrity man that I was sexually with for a few years, and I actually had feelings for this person. And let's just say this interview put a very bad light on this person. And I've dealt with cops over this person due to sexual conduct stuff that I thought was no big deal, so I brushed it off. But the fact that it's coming back to my face and they're telling me this stuff about STDs and all this mess, and this man has been with me and everybody else doing the same thing with everybody else, and I don't know how to just brush it off anymore, because it's like, what if, what if this is the person who did this to me and he's living his best life? But hey, you can't have assumptions because it just makes an ass out of you and me. That's what they say. I'll never know, right? But I just don't like seeing stuff like that. I wake up and it ruins my whole day because I'm like, I don't think about this stuff for that reason, because I don't want to even, I can't do anything about it. I have it now. I'm half blind from it. I'm dealing with it. But if you did this to me and you've been fronting to me about, it's a lot. It's a lot, y'all. I don't know what to do, but I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to let it go. It's just too much that I've been seeing and I'm hearing is giving me, you did this to me. But I can't assume. And I'm gonna leave it there. Because it is what it is. Can't do anything about it, can you? Nope. You just can't.
This whole situation also brings up some really old and serious rumors about Diddy and the singer Usher. You have to remember that Usher was a huge star, but he was just a kid when he first got started. When Usher was only about 14 years old, his music producer, a guy named L.A. Reid, sent him to live with Diddy in New York. The idea was for Diddy to mentor Usher, to teach him about the music business and help launch his career. Diddy had a famous group of artists and producers people called the Bad Boy Camp. But the stories about what actually happened there are really dark. It's been said for years that instead of getting good advice, Usher was exposed to a lot of very adult and inappropriate situations. He was just a young teenager, but he has said himself that he was forced to see and do some wild and crazy things that no 14-year-old should ever have to experience. There are even long-standing rumors that during this time, Diddy gave Usher a sexually transmitted disease, STD. This adds to the pattern of behavior people are now talking about. It paints a picture of an environment where young people weren't protected and where irresponsible and harmful actions had real consequences for their health. The idea of a young teen being handed over to a powerful adult for mentorship, only to be put in dangerous situations, makes this old story feel very connected to the new rumors we're hearing today. It shows that this kind of behavior might not be new for Diddy at all.
To New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to something
City.
called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In
to
the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgies.
I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
There's an old video of Diddy that adds even more suspicion to the story. In it, he was being interviewed and seemed to be telling a funny story about the past. He started talking about the time when a very young Usher was living with him. He began to say something like, "Yeah, me and Usher used to sleep together all the time back then." But he stopped talking very suddenly right after he said it. You can see on his face that he realized how bad that sounded. The phrase sleep together can sometimes mean two different things. It can literally mean sleeping in the same place, or it can be slang for having sex. He quickly tried to correct himself and explained that he just meant they would often crash in the same room or the same bed after long nights working in the studio. He tried to play it off like it was no big deal, just guys being tired. But to many people watching, it seemed like he almost let a much darker secret slip out by accident. His sudden pause and his need to quickly explain himself made the whole moment feel very suspicious. It makes the already troubling rumors about what happened during Usher's time living with him feel even more believable.
Right here from day one, we used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, just back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flake.
This pattern of behavior seems to go back a very long time. There was a moment in 2005 when Usher was doing an interview for a magazine, and the reporter asked him about his time living with Diddy as a teenager. Usher got very quiet and careful with his words. He basically said, "I want to save that story for my own book one day." But then he added a very telling hint. "I'll put it this way. I saw a lot. I was around a lot. And there was a lot of sex happening." This was a really strange and revealing thing to say about a period in his life when he was just 14 years old. It makes you wonder what exactly he witnessed and what he was forced to be involved in. However, some people worry that if Usher ever tried to write a book telling the whole story, he might face serious danger. They point out that other people who have tried to expose Diddy's secrets have met tragic ends. For example, a writer named Erica Kennedy was reportedly working on a book about him, and a few months later, she was found dead in her apartment. Even more chilling, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his children, Kim Porter, was also said to be writing a book before she suddenly and mysteriously passed away. The rumors about Kim Porter's book got even more intense when an email, supposedly from a book publisher she was working with, was leaked online. This email listed some of the explosive topics the book was going to cover. It mentioned that Kim had information about Diddy's secret relationships with men, that she even had video footage, and that it would detail how he gave Usher a sexually transmitted disease. The email also said the book would talk about a huge fight between Diddy and Usher's mother, probably when she found out what was happening to her son. This old rumor about the STD connects to a more recent lawsuit against Usher. Back in 2017, a woman sued him, claiming he had given her herpes. In her legal papers, she said that after she got sick, she started searching online and found all the old rumors about Usher catching diseases from Diddy during his time living in that house. She believes this is where it all started for him. When you look at all these stories together, from Cass's lawsuit talking about STDs, to the old rumors about Usher, and now to the new, serious rumors about Gina and HIV, a very clear and disturbing pattern starts to emerge. It suggests a long history of irresponsible and harmful behavior that has hurt a lot of people. Right now, These are still just rumors and speculation. Gina has not come out and publicly said that Diddy is the one who gave her HIV. She has been very careful about that. But her recent TikTok video, where she talked about being triggered by a news story about a certain celebrity, makes a lot of people think she might be gathering her evidence and getting ready to tell her full story soon. A lot of people online are connecting the dots. One person commented, "It's so telling that during the trial, everyone was talking about his huge orders of baby oil, but nobody ever mentioned him buying any condoms." Another person said, "This isn't hard to believe at all. The way Diddy slept around with so many people, without any care, makes it very possible he was spreading diseases." So what do you think about all of this? Do you believe there's truth to the rumor that Diddy gave Gina HIV? And do you think Gina will eventually confirm the story once she has all her proof? Let me know what you think in the comments below.